Have you ever caught yourself thinking about someone over and over again? Not just a casual thought or a fleeting crush, but something that lingers. Something that creeps into your quiet moments, whispers through your dreams, and even finds its way into your prayers. You're not trying to obsess, but it's like the feeling just won't leave. And then comes the question you've probably asked yourself at least once. Is this feeling from Allah, or am I just caught up in my emotions? Because when you genuinely feel drawn to someone, it's not always easy to distinguish where that desire is coming from. Is it love, or is it a trial? Is it divine guidance, or just your nafs dressing up longing as destiny? We live in a world that glorifies love stories, where every second post tells you to follow your heart. And halal love is often glamorized without discussing its boundaries. And in the middle of that noise, many people fall into something they think is a sign from Allah, but it turns out to be nothing more than an emotional detour. But here's a truth that often goes unspoken. Not every desire is wrong, and not every feeling is impure. Sometimes, yes, Allah places love in your heart not to tempt you, but to test you, refine you, or even guide you back to Him. So how do you know if what you're feeling is a distraction or a direction? Let's explore 4 powerful signs that your desire for someone might not be random or even selfish. They might, in fact, be a mercy from Allah, a gift wrapped in patience, designed not to break you, but to build you. Watch closely, because one of these signs might just reveal that your heart isn't falling. It's being led. Sign number 1. The feeling brings you closer to Allah, not further away. This might sound simple, but it's actually profound. Think about it. When this person comes to your mind, what follows? Is it restlessness or reverence? Are you reminded of your cravings, or do you find yourself making more sincere dua? There's a kind of love that distracts you from Allah. It makes you careless. You delay your prayers. You skip Quran time. You justify crossing boundaries with "we're not doing anything haram yet." But there's another kind, the rarer kind, that actually softens your heart, makes you more alert with your Deen. You pray not just for them, but for clarity. You think not just about conversations, but about commitment, marriage, and maturity. You don't rush to impress. You work on becoming someone worthy. You lower your gaze not just because it's sunnah, but because you respect the feeling too much to dishonor it. That's not lust. That's a purified desire, a feeling that pushes you toward discipline, not disobedience. And if that's the direction your heart is taking you, then maybe, just maybe, it's not your nafs pulling you. Maybe it's Allah guiding you. Remember the verse, "Verily, in the remembrance of Allah do hearts find rest." If thinking about this person brings you to that rest, that remembrance, then what you feel might not be a distraction. It could be a reminder that even in love, Allah must stay at the center. Sign number 2, the timing changes, not to torment you, but to train you. One of the most misunderstood signs of divine love is delay. You might have experienced it. Things felt like they were going somewhere. Then, all of a sudden, silence. The momentum slowed. The connection faded. Maybe you were just about to talk to them, or you were already close. And suddenly, nothing. And your heart spiraled into overthinking. Did I say something wrong? Am I not enough? But what if that wasn't rejection? What if it was redirection? Because here's a secret. When something is truly from Allah, He often doesn't give it to you immediately. He slows it down, not to confuse you, but to prepare you. He pauses the story so you can focus on your character. Maybe you need to build your emotional strength. Maybe they do. Maybe both of you are still incomplete chapters, and Allah is writing something far better than what your impatience can see right now. When something is from your nafs, you chase it recklessly. You rush. You ignore red flags. You confuse infatuation with urgency. But when something is from Allah, you notice something strange. Peace. Even in the delay, even in the silence, your heart still whispers, if it's meant for me, it will come. And if it's not, I won't have to fight to keep it. That's not delusion. That's tawakkul. That's faith in the one who said, what missed you was never meant to hit you, and what hit you was never meant to miss you. If the door closes gently, don't call it a dead end. Maybe it's a sacred pause, a chance to become more than just ready, to become worthy. Sign number 3. The feeling makes you guard your values, not compromise them. You are doing just fine. You had your boundaries. You didn't text unnecessarily. You didn't open your heart easily. You lowered your gaze. You protected your modesty. But then they came into your life, or maybe just into your mind. And suddenly, you found yourself checking your heart more carefully. Not because you were weak, but because you were aware. Something about this person made you cautious, not reckless. You started making more dua, not more excuses. You began begging Allah, Ya Rab, protect me from my own heart. Not because you were guilty, but because you feared losing what mattered most, your connection with Him. That feeling isn't just romantic, it's spiritual. That kind of emotional awareness, that fear of falling into sin, that's not infatuation. That's a signal that your Iman is still alive. The Prophet Muhammad said, whoever gives up something for the sake of Allah, Allah will replace it with something better. So if you're choosing dignity over desire, caution over chemistry, and taqwa over temptation, that's a powerful sign. A sign that you aren't just chasing someone. You're seeking something sacred. You're not scared of people finding out. You're scared of Allah being displeased? And that kind of fear, that's not weakness. That's wisdom. That's your fitra fighting to stay clean in a world that romanticizes sin. That's your soul saying, Ya Allah, let this feeling refine me, not ruin me. And then there's sign number 4. You asked Allah to remove the feeling, but He didn't. And now it's changing you. You tried. You really did. You made dua. Ya Allah, if this isn't good for me, take it away. You tried to distract yourself, blocked them, unfollowed, focused on your goals, told yourself it's just a trick of the mind, but somehow the feeling stayed. Maybe not with the same intensity, but with a deeper presence. But here's what's fascinating. You didn't just remain stuck. You started transforming. You began praying more consciously. You paid attention to your tongue, your temper, your habits. You repented for small sins. You cleaned parts of your life you had ignored. You didn't just carry the feeling, you let it purify you. And maybe that was the point all along. Sometimes, Allah places a feeling in your heart, not because it's time to fulfill it, but because it's time to grow through it. That person might be written for you, or maybe not. But the version of you that emerged in the process, that version was always part of the plan. And if this desire made you do sincere istikara, if it made you realign your heart, confront your weaknesses, increase in taqwa, then even if it doesn't end the way you imagined, it was never waste. It was a tool for transformation. And in the eyes of Allah, that kind of growth is a victory greater than any relationship. The Prophet said, be mindful of Allah, and He will guide your heart. Maybe the feeling remains because Allah is still guiding you through it, not to that person, but to becoming the person He wants you to be. So now, ask yourself truly, deeply, what has this feeling done to your soul? Has it made you love Allah more? Has it protected your modesty? Has it made you cry in sujud, not for romance, but for clarity and contentment? Has it made you fear the idea of sin more than the pain of separation? If yes, then this is more than just emotion. It might be a mercy. It might be an awakening. It might be the hand of Allah gently turning your heart back to Him, using love as the tool and longing as the teacher. And here's the most beautiful part. Even if this person is never meant for you, even if the story ends before it begins, you still win, because you came out of it softer, stronger, more connected to your Rabb. And that kind of outcome? That's never wasted. So tonight, if your heart is aching and you don't know what to do, fall into sujud. Not to beg for the person, but to surrender to the plan. Say, Ya Allah, if this person is written for me, make it easy, make it a law, make it last. And if they're not, remove them from my heart gently, without pain. Replace this desire with peace, and let me fall in love with what you've destined for me. And if this reminder touched your heart, if it gave you clarity in your confusion, then write in the comments, Ya Allah, purify my heart and guide my desires. Your words might be the exact sign someone else was searching for. And if you want to help more hearts find peace in their journey, liking and subscribing costs you nothing, but it might reach a soul on the edge of a mistake. May Allah guard your heart, purify your love, and write for you a story that brings you closer to Him in this life and in the one to come. Ameen.